Hi guys, hope you guys have been doing good and staying safe. So my first video that I did regarding the Gofundme received one specific feedback of me being a online beggar. I had to go and think about it. I'll probably not take every negative message out there to heart. This is all new to me. It's fascinating. I enjoy it, and I'm learning a lot. But back to the online begging. I'll probably make myself king of online beggars soon. I mean, the first thing is I didn't want to come across pretentious. That's something that I don't want to do, and I didn't want to come across that I'm begging anybody or emotionally blackmailing anybody to think that my cause is the only cause, and we should help this guy out. It's very simple for me. I mean, I saw opportunity, me trying anything and everything at this point in time, next to prostitution, of staying this course and seeing this thing through. And I use the word, if you resonate with my situation, then by all means, please, I'll be extremely grateful for anything that you can throw my side. And that's basically where I'm at. Everybody's got their story to tell. Everybody's got something that they're living through, and especially these times that we are in now. I'm on the phone constantly with a lot of people, and there's a lot of stress out there. There's a lot of need out there. My heart goes out to so many people that's from Russia and Ukraine that's working at this site, not always legally, but they're trying to better their quality of life. And a lot of them have no idea what's the next step. They've got no idea where to go, what to do. Everything is up in air with this virus. And that's a reality. I mean, the reality is all the schools are down till further notice. We are in contact with our schools, but that is directly from the government. This is how this thing is. Even the guy that usually brings me water says all the factories have been closed down. They can't bring water to our places, so I'll have to go in to a shop that's open to buy water. It will also be a lot more expensive. Universities that I know is down for the whole semester. That's just the reality we face ourselves in. There's no interviews that can take place for new work and seeing people. I actually don't know, what that other person that commented was thinking about. It's kind of ridiculous. Everything is on lockdown. That's the reality. If it was so easy for people just to snap their fingers and they can find something, everybody would have been doing it and staying in the country. But most of the people I know is going back to South Africa, is going back to their countries, Russia, Ukraine. Some of the borders are closed. Well, most of the borders are closed. Most of the airplanes have it's not taking off. There's still ways to find yourself back to your country. Some of it's very expensive. But people are, trying to see what's, the best way to see this thing out and see this thing through, and also the cheapest, and that's where I am at this point in time as well. So basically, I thought of giving more color to my situation, and just the sequence of events, just a little bit more than my first video. And yet again, if this is something that you resonate with, that you can see, well, that's maybe a worthy cause or whatever, I'll be thankful. If you don't, I won't hate you. I won't think bad about you. It's just, there's a lot of people out there that needs help, and I'm not the only person. So is life. If you connect with this, by all means, I will be extremely grateful. And that's just basically how I want to put it out there. So I am South African. I am a 34-year-old male, And about 6 months ago, 7 months ago, I decided I want to change my fate. I want to do something that is out of the norm that I have experienced so far, for the reasons of more opportunities, travel, and mainly also I want to grow as a person. And I'm a firm believer of placing yourself in situations where you will learn different things, meet different people, have different experiences. And so I decided to come to China. It's a completely Eastern philosophy. I know things have cross-pollinated, but you still get that feeling of the culture and the language and how people do things at this side. And it's been a rich experience, really a rich experience. I've loved most of it. I've had to think about a lot of different things, how I see people, and how to connect with a different mindset and a different worldview. Where worlds collide, if I can put it like that. So I found myself in China. Basically how I came here is I had a friend that was working here. I contacted him. He said, come to my school. He will put me in contact with one of the HR. I was placed in contact with the HR. She said, this is how your contract's going to look. This is what you can qualify with your credentials and CV and experience money-wise. And this is what you'll need to come to China. So I did exactly what they said by the book. And I have everything on the chat, on the WeChat. Well, I had everything on the WeChat that conversations went down. Came to China. My friend picked me up. The next day I started, helping out at the school, and everything was different than what was said and what I was expecting. I've heard this is a very common, experience sometimes, where there's a lot of promises. But the reality is completely different. But that's life. I've experienced it before. I don't moan about it. I'm trying to be, in my life I like to be a problem solver. So I assess the situation and I try to resolve it. My first priority was to get a visa because I was on a travel visa and I needed a working visa to legally work here. And I had all the documentation for it that I thought, and all the experience needed and so forth. So from my point, I did everything that I could, but from the school, they didn't. I had to babysit them. I had to be on their case every day. I had to provide them with what the next steps are, what to do. The lady at HR did nothing, and I basically had to do her job. So eventually I had my time period in Beijing expired. I had to go to Hong Kong. It cost me about between 8 and 10,000 RMB, Young, or about 20,000 Rand. That's my currency. It's extremely expensive, and I came back with a little bit more time. Luckily I did everything correctly. I had to do the whole process myself. The school didn't want to help me. I asked them many times. I made friends with the teachers at the school, and they were so amazing to help me in my situation. And I came back, and when I came back I said, this can't continue like this. So luckily they got an agent to help me, and this agent was extremely helpful, knew what he was doing, and in 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks, I got my documentations through, temporary visa, and from there on I was set. Something to celebrate for. But this whole process was so stressful and so frustrating, and the whole structure in the school also changed. There was a new headmaster. It wasn't great. So there was a lot of tension at school, between me and them, between them and each other, new people working there, not a lot of guidelines. Every day they started micromanaging people. People wanted to leave every day. There's a lot of negativity, and it wasn't a great working environment. And I, at some point, when I received my work visa, you get a card that says you're a legal work permit in China. They took that, which is also illegal to do. You know, I talked to them very nicely. I told them, listen, I can't do this anymore, you know. Basically, my personal thoughts about it is they don't pay anybody tax. The whole structure is illegal. They have a lot of illegal people working there. The police has been there about 4 or 5 times that I've been there, and I've only worked there for 4 months at that point in time. It's very stressful. You know, everybody runs away, and you know, they cheat their way through the whole system. And it's not an environment that anybody wants to work in, you know. Between the micromanagement and the politics going on in a school, and the police turning up, and the documentation's not, you know, being legal, and they refusing to pay tax or giving me a tax number, I just said I had enough. I had to pull out, but I had to be strategic about it in the way I presented it, not fighting, you know, them about it, because they can just call quits, and you know, so that's it. And that's exactly what happened. Basically 4 days after New Year's, International New Year's, I got a text message from my boss saying, we're so sorry to inform you, but please don't come back on Monday. I called them, and this is exactly how this conversation went. I said, hi Frank, hi Peter, Happy New Year. No. Okay, so let me just get my thoughts again. I said, oh, hi Peter, this is a surprise. And he's like, oh, hi Frank, yes, surprise, Happy New Year. That's it. That's how the conversation started after I received that text message. And I was like, okay, don't blow up on this guy, don't lose your cool, because if I did it there, everything would have been over and done with. So with my negotiation skills, that's something I did back in South Africa. I just, you know, handled the situation, tried to be as calm and collective as possible, and, you know, got them to give me 1 month's time, but they extended it 2 months' time, which was fantastic. But I didn't trust them at all. So I was completely cut off. I didn't have a salary. They didn't give me any notice, nothing. I was just like that, slab and cut off. And I didn't prepare for that. So I didn't save enough, because I didn't think in the back of my head, you know, these guys would go so far as to cut me off. And what they basically did, they put a illegal worker in my state. That was half my salary. And I see them, you know, starting to look more into that direction, because it just cuts their losses in a sense, or makes more money for them. Doesn't matter, it's not my issue. But I didn't want them to stop my working visa. And I, you know, negotiated regarding that matter, and they told me, okay, if that's the case, then you need to pay us 8,000 RMB. So I was like, oh, what am I gonna do? I don't have this money. So I just told him, okay, I'll pay you 8,000 RMB to get the things transferred to a new school, to a new work environment. And then from there on, I had 3 weeks that I just grafted. I called everybody, texted everybody that I know. I met people that knew people that knew people. It was a long, stressful time period. And finally, after a couple of interviews, I met a school that was more international, more professional, that I felt more at ease, that I will not go in the same direction as this place that I worked at. And yeah, they liked me, well, they loved me, and gave me the contract and everything. But as soon as I wanted to sign it, the virus hit. So I gave notice of my place. The virus hits. I didn't sign the contract because basically I couldn't travel at that point in time, because they closed down the school, and it was also vacation time. So they said, okay, at the 3rd you can start working, then you can sign the contract. This virus started escalating. Everything just, you know, a lot of paranoia and fear out of there. And the school contacted me and said, okay, no, we're extending the time till the 10th. Then they contacted me again and said, okay, we're extending it to the 17th. Then they contacted me again and said, okay, we're extending it to the, you know, till further notice. So that is where I am at this point in time. I haven't signed the contract, so I don't have any legal, footing. I just accepted their terms and conditions digitally. I don't have enough money because of my, previous work that just cut me off like that. And and I'm in this virus situation, So that's a little bit more color to my situation. I don't want to go too much in depth of the nitty gritty, and sounds like I don't like complaining about things. I'm always a person that says rather try and resolve your issues than complain about it, because complaining doesn't help. It just puts you in a more negative spot mentally, and you're not prepared to handle the situations that come. So I try to laugh at my situation rather than think too much about it. And it is what it is. So that's it. Just me putting it out there. If you think that this situation is me being put in a spot and it's worthy of helping me out, know that I'll be extremely grateful for any help that you can give. I've already received some help from people that I know, and I just feel the love. I feel the love out there, and it helps me through this difficult time. And I'm doing everything else that I can. I'm looking into online teaching. I've contacted my school about it. I'm here, I want to hear what their thoughts are regarding this matter. And that's basically where I'm at, and this is my space. So thank you for listening. I don't know who's going to listen to almost 20 minutes of me ranting. I try to be as concise as possible. It's just difficult to remember every sequence of event that led to this point in time, but I think that more or less covers it. And all I can say is be safe, and thank you. That's about it. So cheers. Hope you guys enjoyed my little rant, and it wasn't too much. And tune in for much more other things. And